This is the Hive. It's a space, it's a playground, it's a think tank, it's a fish tank. Let me just take a minute just to appreciate the fact that Flood produced
I go there in my head
our
quite
record.
often, and you're like, whoa, that dude did our record. And then Steve Lillywhite, too.
I've been a fan of Flood's, and I would look at the back of the record and I would see Flood. Like, who the fuck is this guy?
What is Flood?
What is Flood? In the beginning, I remember just by him being there, he makes you better at what you do.
I could trust his input because I knew he could do the raw, organic, rich feel. I knew it. I knew that he could do. He's done it really successfully before, and I was actually thrilled to be able to have that on the 30 Seconds to Mars album.
He birthed a very strong beginning and helped push in a really fertile.
He impregnated us, and then Steve Lillywhite
Delivered our baby.
That's kind of.
So Steve came in and helped us finish.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, exactly. When Steve's thing, he starts doing this when he's excited. You know what he used to say to me? Tell me that's not very good.
He goes, that's not very
It's not very good.
Again. We said we are not going to go back and rely on what we know. We're going to start again. Basically, it's like getting lost in the middle of the forest. We said, okay, no, you can't have your compass because you know how to use a compass. You can't have a map because you know how to use a map.
But we're gonna find our way.
Yeah, we're gonna find our way home. I wouldn't even call it an evolution. I would call it a revolution.
Yeah.
Creatively, there's
Sonically, it's a new beginning. Creatively, it's a revolution. You can't be in your comfort zone and do something great. You have to be outside of it in order for that kind of new creativity to come in.
I really wanted it to evoke a sense of place, a sense of time, for it to be like listening to a film. It was the beginning of 2008, and here we are at the end of 2009. So a year and 3/4 ago. And I was still working on the album this morning, even though I'm not supposed to be. Just don't tell anyone.
This is War is a title, or I guess a phrase that we've been kind of saying for a long time. It's kind of like almost like a battle cry.
I mean, I think there's always a war. There's always a war within yourself.
The creative battles, the personal battles, the $30 million battle made this record what it is and it changed our lives. The summit was really born out of a desire for us to turn the microphones away from ourselves and put it on the audience. We did the first one here in Los Angeles at the Avalon. There were 1,000 people that showed up. I remember staying on a stage and saying, okay, we got all these people here.
What do we do?
It's sounding pretty good. We should try a couple other things. And hearing them.
That was the moment that it hit me. I was
Yeah.
like, this is something special. When they did the low to high thing.
And then when
like,
everyone stomped on the ground, the very first one, and I remember looking at you guys of, okay. That seemed to work. Mm-hmm. It was one of the most unique things that we'd ever done as a band. And it was so inspiring to include all of those people in the process, and there was such a good feeling, there was such goodwill that came from it. We ended up doing it in 8 different countries around the world. And then I had a Twitter from a kid from Iran who was disappointed that he couldn't join one of the summits. That's when I came up with the idea to do a digital summit as well, where people could sit at home in front of their computers. And the way that you would maybe plot strings out for a record and then have an orchestra play them later. In this instance, the orchestra was the Summit. And there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people from all over the world that are on this entire album, so it's really not just our record.
It's great working with Jared because he can push you past the point of what you would normally push yourself to do, which I think is a good thing. I challenge anyone out there to even attempt to do 2 things as good as he does 100 things. You will almost certainly fail.
I think he's a hard worker. I think he's dedicated. I think he's committed. I think he likes to prove people wrong. He's inspiring. He inspires me all the time. I mean, he's my brother, so I'd do anything for him.
We're brothers, but if he wasn't so unbelievably talented, we wouldn't be playing together. He doesn't play on a song, he takes a song over, he inhabits it.
We always say that Shannon is the heartbeat of the band because he's the drummer and he's setting like that rhythmic mood. When there's someone as good as him at that, it makes everyone else's job so much easier because all you have to do is follow him. Just follow Shannon and you're good.
The way I create, it's just straight from the gut.
I was a fan of this band first, and it's music that I love to listen to.
I trust his instinct, I trust his opinion, I trust his gut.
He's inspiring. He knows a lot about music that I don't know. He's just a good guy. What you see is what you get usually with Tomo.
When it happens and he brings something and it's unlike anything that I would have ever dreamed. And that's exactly what you want in a partnership like this, in a band.
I think This Is War means to always fight until the bitter end, no matter what the scenario is.
I really feel like we've caught up with ourselves in a way. I think we've become who we wanted to be.
I'm excited for people to hear what we've done.
We've hit on something that's very important for 30 Seconds to Mars. We've made a discovery, and that discovery is who we are.